Here comes Marcus Howard. Pulls up from deep.
Howard around Jones. What a finish.
Howard again, a deep three.
As you leave college and you exit, we've all done it. When I left college, it was the same thing I thought about was, when I exited, like, what did I improve on as a person, right? That I came in and I felt that was a weakness, and what did I leave out of that 4 years that I felt that I was a better person for? So just you as a person, what did you feel like as Marcus, you came in and you left and you were like, man, I really grew as a person in this area of my life?
Yeah, I think I really grew in the way of I was becoming more than a basketball player. For me, going into college, I wanted to be sure I was getting the full experience of a college education.
Mhm.
And, that includes being a great student, a great athlete. But also, I wanted to be immersed in the community at the school I was at. So, being able to do more things than just basketball to impact my community, my campus was definitely a big part of what I wanted to get out of my college experience. My 4 years, I would definitely say I was able to do some really cool things that went beyond the basketball court. So I'm extremely proud that Marquette was able to give me that opportunity, but also, I was able to seize that moment.
If you can think back, when do you remember this like knack for shooting, this feel for shooting that you have? 'Cause some people have it, they got to work on it. Everything takes work, but some people have it and they just can feel like I have a good shooting stroke. I'd feel real comfortable with this. But what can you remember, even as a kid, like when you started feeling comfortable shooting?
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I was fortunate to have two older brothers that played, and everything I did on the basketball court, I kind of just tried to emulate them. So for me, being the youngest, I definitely was always used to playing up and playing against older guys. So for me, it was always just kind of listening to what they were doing, seeing what they were doing, and for me, I kind of just fell in line. And they were both really good shooters, and I kind of just took a little bit from both of their games, and I started becoming really comfortable with shooting. And by the time I was in about junior high, I was farther ahead than a lot of the kids my age, because playing in junior high at school, you're playing with kids your own age, and it got really bad to where I was, it wasn't even like I was like a man amongst boys when I was in junior high. But once I got to high school and everything else, I kind of developed, the mechanics of it, really started to get into the details of it. So the older I've gotten, the more and more detail oriented I've gotten. I'm very meticulous in being able to find out, the best way for me as a player to shoot. But I can remember as young as elementary school, being able to just really have a knack for shooting and for scoring. And, that's really attributed to, my two older brothers really kind of paving the way for me.
Howard pull from deep to shoot.
Howard gets by Samuels. Little floater is good.
Howard working on Pascal. That's a mismatch. And
could you talk about your relationship with therapy and how it became and how it's grown, and where is it at right now?
Yeah, for me personally, and I know a lot of athletes, college athletes, athletes in general deal with the same situation. When you go from any transition from high school to college, it can be extremely tough, especially college to the professional level. So coping with different situations can be different for everybody. So for me, it was tough, being away from home, having to deal with being a college student athlete, and you feel kind of alone at times. So for me, I thought it would be, good for me to, be able to talk to somebody about the things I was dealing with mentally. And I found that in that process, I began to see a different side of the sport and the side of life. So for me, to be able to actually talk about my emotions and not keep them bottled in, like the stigma has athletes in, we're supposed to portray a certain level of toughness and not really show how we feel. On the court, I think that's important. But I think away from the court, it's important to actually be able to talk about the way we feel and the things we go through. So for me, when I was able to have the platform to speak on it, I wanted to speak for those who didn't necessarily have a voice to speak on their mental health. And, as I went through it, continued to go through it on, as I've gotten older with it, it's helped immensely. And to the point now where I do a lot of meditating. I do a lot of, positive self-talk to where I don't feel in those dark places anymore, which is awesome. And for me, I would go to a sports psychologist, but it's to the point now where, I'm able to actually speak with my family on certain things I go through. I think my family has been a great type of, support system for me to where I'm able to feel comfortable in a safe space to be able to talk about things that I deal with. So I just understand and know the different things I have to do now in terms of taking care of my mental health. And at the next level, it's going to be the same way. I'm going to take a lot of necessary steps in terms of being sure that I make it a priority, because I feel it's extremely important nowadays with our sport to take care of our mental.
Did you, I mean, if you could even, if somebody is considering, another athlete's considering like getting into taking, being part of therapy, and getting into that, I mean, what would you even tell them as far as that first step? Because it's not easy for everybody to feel comfortable enough to want to step into that kind of atmosphere. So what would you tell them?
Yeah. The first meeting was awkward. I mean, you don't know the person you're necessarily talking to. So you just didn't really feel like comfortable to talk about certain things in your life. But for me, when I actually took that jump and I took that leap of, I'm actually going to be open to making this work. You get what you put into it, so if you go into it intentionally, like, I need to get this out in order for myself to feel better about what I'm going through. Once you do that, that's when you start to see really changes being made. And for me, that's what it was.
How great is it of a feeling to have two brothers that are also very much familiar with the basketball journey and can understand the ups and downs of it? Like, how great is it to have those two in your corner as you go around this journey?
Oh, it's extremely unique. I think just being able to have two older brothers that truly understand my game better than anybody. But at the same time, being able to compete with them each and every day. I'm competing with a guy in Jordan, all-time leading scorer at Central Arkansas, where Scottie Pippen played, is having a really good professional career so far, just kind of getting started too. I'm competing with him every day. That's been my pre-draft process, is, going against him each and every day. And, I can tell you that, in terms of playing, I played against a lot of great players, but nobody really, to me, compares to my older brother, Jordan, in terms of what he does as a player. And then, you have Desmond, who's been a basketball trainer for about 5-6 years now. And he's trained a number of pro guys, number of great college players, and his track record's very, very good. So just from that aspect, they're my brothers first and foremost. They know me better than anybody, but at the same time, their basketball IQ and their intellect on the game, second to none.
The Miami Heat closed out the Eastern Conference. They headed to the NBA Finals. For you, seeing two Marquette alums there, Jay Crowder and Jimmy Butler, and we know their past of how they got here. It wasn't easy for either one of them. How cool was that of a moment to see them in that light? And like, how special is it knowing that the journey that they took to get here wasn't easy?
Yeah, I mean, it's great, having two Marquette guys, being able to be in the NBA Finals now. A team that not a lot of people would have thought made the finals, but, watching them the entire year, I had a feeling that, they'd have, a great core group. And then they had a lot of guys that were tough, especially those two guys in Jay and Jimmy. And being at Marquette, we're a family. Doesn't matter if you played in the past, you played recently, everybody's a family. So just to be able to see those guys kind of cut from the same cloth as I am, and, to be able to have been in their shoes at Marquette as well, to see them, at the highest stage, being able to play for an NBA championship, it's awesome. It's awesome for them. It's awesome for Marquette. And it definitely is inspiring, being a guy that played at the same school that they did.
Theo John, Howard, deep three. Got another one. Floater gets his first bucket. Howard off the pick.
They announced the rosters for the NBA Combine, and you will be participating. How does it feel to finally be moving forward and getting closer to the draft process? Because, bro, I know it's been long, so I know you're like, yo, finally. So finally being that close, like, what's your mindset and your focus heading down to the Combine?
Yeah, my mindset's been the same from when, the college season ended. Right when the season ended, I was ready to move on and getting right into, preparing for the draft. And my mindset hasn't changed. No matter how long it takes, no matter what entails, I'm going to prepare the right way to put myself in a great position.
What is the player that you envision yourself in the next couple of years that you would there's things you want to accomplish, or just a player that you see yourself? And maybe 3 to 5 years from now, what do you want to see from Marcus?
For me, of course, I have high aspirations. I want to be a very successful pro, a very successful NBA player. But I understand, everyone's race is different. Everyone's process is different. No. So for me, my biggest thing is just being able to maintain, a pro career in terms of being a guy that a team can rely on the constant. whether that's in a starting position, whether that's coming off the bench. You know, I just want to be a valuable asset to an organization, on and off the court. 'Cause I know the role I had in college is not going to be the same role I have as an NBA player. And, you know, that's something that a lot of people could have trouble with. But me personally, I just know in order for me to last in the NBA, I have to be able to do different things. And that's something that I've been working on extremely hard since, you know, the season ended.
What has the game of basketball taught you as a person?
That round ball can take you places that you could never think you would ever go to. The amount of places I've gone that the game has taken me, it's been amazing. The people I've met have had a lasting impact on my life and will for the rest of my life too. But also, you know, I think the game has taught me, you know, nothing can trump hard work. You know, the time spent in the gym can translate to life. I think the time you really spend on something that you truly love and care about, it really translates into great things. And I think that anything you love and care about, when you spend time on that, it's never a sacrifice of anything. I think when you truly love something, you're investing time into it.
Yeah.
And for myself, you know, I would never say I've sacrificed anything for basketball because I truly love it. I would say I've invested time into basketball because of what's to come from it. And I know that the best basketball is ahead of me. And that's what's beautiful about it is you're chasing perfection in an imperfect game. And it's the same thing in life. You could be chasing perfection in life, but you're always going to be in attempt to try and be better. And I think that's a great lesson to learn is that you can always be better. And you can never be satisfied with where you're at. This is Marcus Howard with BR Hoops.